Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be a response to the one and only Beth over at B-Side Records. Um, Once again, she's come up with kind of a really fun thread that I wanted to jump on board with. I've actually been joking with her about the fact that I kind of need to stop going to her channel because every time I do, seem to walk away with like homework because there's always like something that I really want to respond to or have to jump on board with just because she comes up with just a lot of good ideas. And this is kind of a good, simple, straightforward one here, which is basically name songs. Songs would have people's names in them. So let's just kind of jump right into it and let me know what you think. I tried to pick ones that I thought maybe weren't as common, where I wasn't just doing like, Layla by Clapton or um, Gloria by Shadow of the Nights or, stuff like that, Beth by Kiss, that type of thing. So I'm thinking these maybe aren't quite as common, but then again, let me know because you guys could possibly know every single one of these. Uh, but let's just kind of jump right into it. We'll start off here with my boy Rick Braun, one of my absolute favorite smooth jazz artists. Been wanting to see him in concert so bad, just don't get a lot of chances. But a really great album. The song Laura is what I'm picking off of this one. But just a really an overall great album. Missing in Venice, Groove is Notorious, the song Laura, One Love off of his other album. I mean, he has a lot of albums and a lot of great stuff. So that's Rick Braun. Next, we are going to go with another Bad Creation. It's the song Aisha. Love this way back in the early 90s and still love it to this day. Just listened to it a couple weeks ago, actually. But yeah, the Little Kids, another Bad Creation, great group. They were kind of in that mix with Boys to Men, Belle Biv DeVoe, all of them kind of together working with Jermaine Dupri and appeared on each other's albums and blah, blah, blah. But good stuff. Next, EPMD, Unfinished Business, their sophomore album from 1989. And I'm picking this one for the song Jane 2, which you actually could have picked a couple of different albums by then because their debut album, Strictly Business, had the song Jane. This had Jane 2, and I believe one of their other albums has Jane 3 on there as well. So a few Janes to pick from, but fantastic album there. Here's one I'm not sure if people have talked about that much in the VC. Bat for Lashes, The Bride. Kind of a neat artist. I mean, here we're going with the song Joe's Dream off of this one here. But it's not my favorite album by her. It's a good album, but my absolute favorite is this one, which is The Haunted Man. And this here actually has two songs, which is Laura and Marilyn off of this album. If you're not familiar with her, my favorite song by her is Lilies off of this album. So maybe a good place to start if you want to get maybe a little bit of a feel. Next, we have Victor Uwaifo. Definitely one of my top two favorite African artists right there with Sam Magawana. But yeah, and so the song Jerome is probably already one of my favorite African songs ever. I love it to death. Was kind of my dad's favorite song, so I listened to it so much in childhood and, just always loved it. And yeah, awesome African artist. Next, we go to Vanity. So this is her album Wild Animals. And here you have the song Strap On Robbie Baby. So whatever Vanity's talking about there, she was telling it to Robbie. So that's another pick. And another artist that doesn't quite get, some of the credit I think that he deserves, which is Louis Jordan. This is his greatest hits album. And it's the song is Caldonia. That's the the name of the song I'm picking off here for the thread. But the reason I say he doesn't get a lot of, enough credit is, obviously during this time frame, a lot of artists just didn't. I mean, this is just kind of a rough time and a rough point in history from that regard. But when you really kind of fast forward it, we talk about the trailblazers and that type of thing. This is one of the people that Ray Charles credited quite a bit for his style and what he developed and all of that when it came to the whole stride piano and all of that stuff. He said that Louis Jordan was one of his major influences. So You know, even though he doesn't get the credit, he definitely left his stamp on people like Ray Charles. Next here, Lucinda Williams, Happy Woman Blues. This is from 1980. And on here we have the song Maria. So that's the one that we're picking there. Lucinda, another great artist, long career, you know, from the 70s going into, like just a couple years ago, she had another album that came out. Great mixture between country and folk, and sometimes even kind of a little bit of a pop feel in some of her more recent stuff. But just a really, really great artist. So make sure you check her out if you haven't heard of her before. And songs that you might want to check out, if not off of that album, but songs like Fruits of My Labor is a fantastic song. Words is one of my favorite. Are You All Right? Another kind of great track, but a lot of good stuff there. Next up, Brett Dennen, Lover Boy. Because that's what you think when you look at that picture, right? Lover Boy. This is his 2011 release. The song Sydney is what I'm picking off here for the thread. So, and again, decent album there, but actually, I was picking it out a moment ago. This is my favorite album by him, so I went ahead and pulled it out because I want to give it a spin right after I make the video here. Brett Dennen, Hope for the Hopeless. This is definitely his killer album, in my opinion. Just kind of a singer-songwriter type of thing. It kind of has a bit of a high-pitched, squeaky kind of voice, but he uses it perfectly. First song that really brought me to him was the song Ain't Gonna Lose You off of this. So yeah, fantastic, fantastic album. Really good stuff there. Even though whenever I watch live clips of him on YouTube, I just want to punch him in the face. It's just something about him just makes your fist ball up, and I can't explain why, but that's a great album. Next pick, Wilson Pickett. And I'm kind of going with a common song off of this one because I'm going with his cover of Hey Jude. So didn't pick it by, you know, the Beatles version, but I thought I'd throw the Wilson Pickett version in there, which, I mean, and Wilson just kills it on that song. You know, the first portion just throughout the, you know, not the chorus, but just throughout the verses, you know, it's just kind of doing a soulful kind of version of it. But as soon as they go into the na-na part, and man, he just lets it go, and I mean, he shows why Wilson was Wilson. I mean, his voice, oh man, he just kills it. Just go listen to it from front to back, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That song, as much as any, displays the power of Wilson Pickett. So moving right along, the next one here, we got Small Black, and this is Limits of Desire. And the song we have here is Sophie. So that's the song we're picking there. If you're not familiar with Small Black, you know, this is kind of, I guess, more modern day synth popish kind of stuff. I don't think this is their best album. It's a good one, but definitely not their best album. But overall, I mean, the group is fantastic. Next, the Pipettes. We Are the Pipettes. Another fun little album. And the song I'm picking off of here is Judy. So as you can see, wait, where's it go? Oh, right there. So you got Judy. So yeah, if you're not familiar with them, the song you want you to go check out is Your Kisses Are Wasted on Me. A nice little like 2-minute, 10-second, like 50s/60s bubblegum pop type of song. But it's fun. It's just a really cool little track. So if you're not familiar with the Pipettes, make sure you go check that out. Now my two favorite smooth jazz artists are Rick Braun, which I just showed you, and my boy Kenny G. Again, I don't care what anybody says. I actually have this listening copy, and I have a sealed copy of this as well. And I got a Kenny G pillow on my couch, so I don't care. But it's sitting right next to the Uriah Heep pillow, which is sitting right next to the Black Sabbath pillow. So that's just kind of how we roll over here. But Kenny G live, and the song I'm going with off of here is Uncle Al, which was one of the first songs I fell in love with Kenny G. As I mentioned in a recent video, I mean, this album is of great significance because this introduced me to the world of jazz, period. First jazz album I ever liked. And so I, you know, kind of say without this, I wouldn't have discovered Coltrane. I wouldn't have discovered Ornette Coleman, Sunra. Like I wouldn't have branched off to any of those type of greats. But I don't care if nobody says Kenny G's a bad dude. And last but not least, this is one I felt just had to be included in this thread just based on principle. Even though it doesn't have a title, a name in the title, I had to show my boy Too Short. This is his album Born to Mac from 1988. And the song I'm showing on here is the song Freaky Tales. Now, there's no name in the title, but I mean, I would almost argue that's probably one of the songs that has names in it, maybe more so than just about any other song out there. And so, kind of as a good example, these are the names that are mentioned in this song across the board. So, like with that many names, I kind of felt like this needs to be inserted into the thread somehow. So, even though the song is called Freaky Tales, Too Short gets a nod in this thread for mentioning that many different names throughout the song. So there you go, VC. There you go, Beth. Another great kind of fun, say right to the point thread that was very, very fun to do. And as always, let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you soon, guys. All right, take care.